Hello, hello. We'll get started pretty quickly here since I am on a busy schedule tonight. Pretty simple, right? Last week, we did exactly what we were looking for, right? We had multiple points of interest, but our main one being this inversion fair value gap. And as we can see, we beautifully respected it with the bodies of the candles. Of course, we did trade quite a bit lower in this case, but once we headed down to our 4 hour, this was simply a retracement to the first discount in efficiency. I believe actually it was in the hourly in this case. Yeah. See, no first discount. I do want to mention it because I feel like it's important to do these little reviews as well. But as we can see, we had a beautiful order block right here. And yeah, call it, I don't know, call it, what's the word? Hindsight, however you want. But you guys know we have very simple rules that are very easy to understand and follow, and that's what we do. Yes, that is not you, Justin. I did share this forget to share my screen in the Discord. I am a little pressed on time tonight, so went through it a little quickly. I was showcasing for last week specifically, just going back over our bias. But now, anyways, we are within a new week. Now that this move higher has been completed and we have closed aggressively throughout this level, we should see a continuation, right? This is what we anticipate. This is what we expect from our charts. Whenever we close through an important level, we are looking for a continuation to that area. And if we're talking about statistics, right? This is our thing here in the Rise Trading Discord. Well, statistically speaking, we are over 70% percentages of trending. What does that mean? Well, we established a trend and we have a 70% chance of continuing to that trend. But we have to take into account specific parameters. Like what? Well, hey, it's the last week of the month, right? And that can impact our markets very much. Why? Same thing we always do every day, every week, every month. We look for candle structure. If we look specifically at this month, and you know what? We have amazing indicators. Let's use them. Right here, we can see the monthly open. No, that is simply wrong. Wow, well, oh yeah, I called it the monthly open, but it's in the 1 week parameter. There was an issue there. We can see the monthly open right here. Now we did go higher initially, then formed a low of the month and have redone that move. I mean, from our statistical outlook, it is exactly on point to what we were expecting. A big range early on with the low of the month formed early, and then of course our beautiful expansion towards the upside. Once again, just going back over previous month's high with September. But what do we expect at the end of the month? Well, retracement. Now, I'm going to be honest with you guys, we don't need to retrace. And why is that? We already retraced quite aggressively last week. We did a huge move lower at the time of our low of the month, so we have no requirement to retrace. But after reaching an important objective like this, it is important to set expectations. So I'm going to be looking at this range, and I'm going to be looking at this range, and what levels pop out right at the beginning. Well, we have clear sell side liquidity right here, just another way of saying a low, and then right here as well, and once again at the current low of the month right here. So we have very big downside objectives. Now in trending assets, right, in trending markets like the indices futures, NASDAQ and ES, it's important not to set an idea of downside movement, even though there are plenty of objectives, right? We can look at all of this move higher and we'll know, because I did PA reviews the whole time here, right? We've been doing it since mid 2024. So you can clearly see the receipts of these things. And yeah, we were looking for downside. Why? Because we had clear objectives. But right here, I'm trading at all-time highs. And what does that mean? I'm going to use the same phrase I have always used. We are bullish until proven otherwise. It is that simple, that brain dead is the word I like to use here. My trend is bullish, and I'm not changing my mind until we expand past one of these levels. So if I see price returning lower, I'm going to treat that as a retracement and then look for longs off of that price. But if we reach that price and we close aggressively through it, then what's my next objective? That next level, and so on, so forth. Now you might ask, okay, well, what's next after this? Well, we have very clear level right here. What's next after this? Let's keep going. Let's keep going. You know, you have so many levels to look at. But whenever I'm looking at downside objectives, I go through it step by step, unless we have a 2 to 3 week bearish trend, which just leaves us in a bearish market, right? We have pretty aggressive pullbacks on the indices futures as well. And usually there's some form of worldly event that leads to it. But overall, if we're talking specifically about this week, I'm just going to be super bullish with no objectives. Of course, we're trading at all-time highs, right? I don't have clear objectives. So I'm just going to keep being bullish, use previous day high and low as potential objectives. And with the news we have this week, right? News every single day except Monday. Well, I'm going to be pretty aggressive every single day. It's important to point out as well, this Friday, I will be trading live on Top Step TV. I will only be there during the lunch session though, so probably won't be a lot of Rise model trades there, but we'll be live, we'll be talking there. So if you guys are interested, definitely something to look out for. As per PA reviews, we'll have them every day except Monday and Friday, right? Tomorrow we have no high impact news. I won't be trading at all. And Friday, well, since I will be live on that regard, I will not be looking to do a PA review afterwards. So a lot of stuff was said very quickly, but overall, we're trading at all-time highs. We're expanding through old highs. What does that mean? We're bullish. There is no need to go further into it. If we have a pullback, we have clear levels to look for reversal. And if we expand through these levels, then we understand that we are going to the next level, so on, so forth. We have any questions? I know we went through it super quickly, but these outlooks go through very simple logic, right? Premium and discount, highs and lows, and pretty much momentum, right? Closing aggressively through highs and lows, that is regarding momentum. So that is the logic we use. All good and clear for me. Love to hear that, Justin. All right, we're going to call it a night then. Lovely to have you guys with us, right? Definitely was a quicker one tonight. As I said, Pierre reviews will be Wednesday through Thursday. So see you guys all there. Have a great night. Good luck trading this week. Bye, guys.